Natalie has a new veggie dish that she's excited about.
Inspired by something that my mom used to make. She makes the best gravlax ever, so I tried to kind of replicate her recipe. My sister was in here and she had it, and she said that I did an amazing job, so.
I moved to this neighborhood as soon as I moved to Halifax, so I've been here about a decade now. I feel like there's a sense of community. I feel like I've moved into an area that is diverse and multifaceted. I feel so lucky that a block away from my front door is my favorite restaurant in the city. I feel so welcome there. It's a place called Field Guide, and that's where we're going tonight. I'm at Field Guide in Halifax's North End. This is my local watering hole and one of my favorite restaurants. Today I'm with Katie, Kaylee, and Natalie, who are restaurateurs, a chef. We're going to have some drinks and some food and chat about what makes this industry tick. Citrus zest. Some people think it's just a decoration, but it's actually very functional. When you zest citrus, it expresses a bunch of citrus oils, and those fly all over your glass and give it an amazing aroma.
Cheers.
It's really hard not to drink this, my favorite martini, so fast.
Yeah,
But that's kind of the point of the
also,
drink
you want
that
it
you
to be
start
cold.
with. Yeah.
You also want to get onto it a little bit. Like it's kind of, I think about it also as like revving up your appetite.
What do we feel like eating? I mean, I want to let you kind of dictate this because I really want to know what you see a dining experience is and like where you think we should go right now.
Today we're gonna do our favorite thing, which is kind of let Natalie choose some dishes for us, and we're also gonna share a bunch of stuff.
Someone's calling us. He's like, are you
Someone's
open
like,
right now?
hello?
We're like, no,
Take
we're having a day to ourselves. Here we go. We have some Beausoleil oysters, lacto-fermented hot sauce we make in-house. Mignonette today is some shallot and dill, a little lemon, of course.
Drinking some local sparkling,
Yeah.
Benjamin Bridge.
Yeah, we're enjoying
Why?
these oysters with sparkling wine, which is a very classic pairing in Nova Scotia. We're really lucky to have access to some really amazing sparkling wines. And as we already talked about, the oysters are also local. So, you know, when you're pairing like with like, they naturally go together.
I always like my first oyster just by itself, just to see like what the flavor profile is like. I think that's a good way to just see like what your oyster is like.
I like to try all of the sauces that I'm provided with and then save the naked oyster for last.
Do we flip the shells?
We flip the shells.
We flip the shells. For everyone out there listening, once you're done your oyster, I guess flip the shells.
But more importantly with oysters, if you flip your shells, it's way easier for your server to clear the table. Instead of having a bunch of plates with shells all over them, all the shells are on the dirty plate.
Yeah, exactly. Since the restaurant is closed and it's just us here, I think, Jess, you're gonna come with me and be my sous chef.
I love doing that. I think I'm okay at that.
You'll do just fine.
I'm
Maybe we
gonna-
can bring our wine over.
I love having a drink while I'm cooking, so you can show me some things.
Great. Come with me. So I'm gonna get you going here. We're gonna do the gravlax on toast. So I'm gonna get you to do a whipped goat's cheese. We're using some local goat's cheese from Rancher Acres. So we're gonna do 75 grams of goat's cheese and 220 grams of whipped cream in the bowl with 2 grams of salt, please.
I don't usually use a scale at home.
That's
Everything
okay.
is more eyeballed to me and intuitive. So
I understand.
Okay, so 220.
Yep.
Okay, no, I
It's a
can put a
lot.
lot. I can put a lot more. Okay.
It's a lot.
Oh, I put 265. It should be okay for today. I'm just gonna call that. Sorry, Dad.
It's okay. We'll take a little bit out. We're learning. There we go. That's great.
It's because of the what? What? So I can't go 15 over, but you can go 25 under? How's that fair?
220.
Oh, whoops. I thought it was 250.
We're making a nice fluffy cream. It actually should be just cream with a little bit of goat's cheese, I guess. Our salmon here is sustainable blue salmon. It is cured for 5 days under a lot of pressure with some aromatics.
And I can take it off the scale and push it away and whip
Yep,
it up.
and we're gonna whip it up.
There are so many different ways to cook salmon but not cook it. So it's like you've got cold smoking, you've got hot smoking, you've got gravlax. So can you explain a little bit more about how gravlax works?
Basically what you're doing is you're curing it using salt and sugar. So it just interacts with the protein in the salmon and basically it does your cooking for you.
Classic kitchen thing. I'm like, oh, it smells so good. All that's going on is like butter.
Yeah. Every time somebody comes into a kitchen and they're like, wow, that smells amazing, what is it? It's usually just garlic, onions, and butter. So we have this sauce here, which is special sauce, which is my mom's secret recipe, so I can't tell you what's in there. We are going to place our bread like so. Excellent, thank you very much.
I always really like your plating because I think it's really pretty, but like not too fussed over.
There's so few of us who work in the kitchen here. Usually it's only 1 or 2 people. So I really do try to keep that in mind when I'm designing the plating because it can't be too elaborate because when you have hot dishes on the stove and you're trying to also plate your cold dishes, it can be a lot.
Thank you for allowing me to be your untrained sous chef.
You're welcome back anytime.
I worked really hard. The salmon took me days to cure.
5 days. Jess has been here for 5 days. I think generally vegetables and butter go well together. Butter's my favorite.
Yeah.
But the squash dish is acorn squash, which is roasted and then fried. The philosophy with food at Field Guide is to source whatever the best of that thing is.
I love these for many, many reasons. Big fan of pork shoulder, just super tasty. 2 handheld things from different cultures. Coming back to the fact that this is, I feel like my local. I've been here on Halloween. I've been here on New Year's Eve. I've been here
For our
on
birthdays?
I've been here on many first dates. Might have been here on some last dates. What are some more memorable evenings of yours here?
Not to be too dramatic, but there's like faces like flashing through my brain of just all these people that I've had the pleasure to meet, and they're not necessarily food service people, or although they might be, but just so many connections.
It's the people who come up to the pass for me after a meal and they just are like so ecstatic about their experience and so grateful.
I don't know why, but I distinctly remember being here on the very first night it was ever open, and that feeling of like placemaking and like community building and just like looking down the bar and it was like full of people and like looking around, everyone was like so having such a great time.
I think that this neighborhood is extremely cool. there are many things that contribute to that, but this is definitely one of them, because I think that you do try to be a community member, you try to help other people out and not just think about yourselves, and that's really important. Just like any other night I've spent here, tonight was nothing short of amazing. We had a wonderful dining experience. Katie, Kaylee, and Natalie, the chef, thank you so much. This was delicious, insightful. You are all babes, and I can't wait for my next time back.
Thanks, guys.